It's the COD, episode 24.
24, we out here.
You heard me? It's a new year,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
2021.
2021.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Ryan and Paul back in effect.
That's right. Paul and Ryan, man. We back in this game.
Yes,
A lot
sir.
going on in the
Happy New
world.
Year.
A lot going on in the
It's a
world.
lot, a lot, a lot.
Hey, but first and foremost, Happy New Year's. I hope everybody's healthy. Hope your families is healthy. Hope you enjoyed your holidays. Um, man, let's get right into it, man. It's a lot of stuff that's happening over the last couple of days, which is why our episode got postponed because we were all glued to the news, CNN, Fox, whatever you watch. It don't even matter.
All that.
Yeah, man. They was raiding.
Go on.
Hey, they was raiding the Capitol, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man.
What's going on? What you know, Ryan? Let me know.
So we saw that we saw something was planned because it had to be,
Mm,
right?
mm.
Anything else you see, the cops are on brand. They're on target. They're on command. Anytime you've seen that, this nation, you're allowed to protest. Protest is legal, right?
Absolutely.
To gather, to, create awareness. And, every time, I guess Black Lives Matter, right? Or anytime something that you would characterize as a leftist movement, even though it shouldn't be. Something like Black Lives Matter is a humanitarian issue. So anytime you see these things that, are unfortunately politicized, um, people usually are doing their, what's it called? Civil disobedience or whatever.
Exactly.
They're usually doing their duty. And when I say that, I mean they're staying on the street. They might be blocking traffic, things like that, but they are gathering lawfully. And what we've seen over time or recently, there have been agitators at, Black Lives Matter protests and things like that. So, things have for a few times kind of descended into looting or rioting, as people would call it.
Exactly.
But, for the most part, things are under control. There's a message, there's a goal. Um, and people kind of protest how, I guess, the law allows or had envisioned it. Fast forward to yesterday, we have a protest from the other side, from a far right side. These are Trump's fans. This is MAGA. This is Make America Great Again. So make no mistake, this is a politicized issue. This is not necessarily a humanitarian issue. They believe that the election was rigged. They believe Trump was the actual winner, even though the popular vote this time went to Biden. The electoral vote this time went to Biden. The state certified the votes. The electoral college certified the votes. The other day, Congress was trying to certify those votes, and here you have a, a protest that was called "Steal the Vote." And it was all, the MAGA fans. And I was telling people today, we grow up in a country ever since, I don't know how old I was, but I've always known that, you know, there's snipers stationed on the White House roof. And if you touch that lawn, it's over for you. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no court. It's over for you. So, to me, you would just think that that same type of protection is standard everywhere. So, yeah, I expected some snipers. I didn't expect to see people get shot, but come on, I expected some snipers. And what we saw was a poor excuse for what we call defense. You know what I mean? Like somebody online was talking about $700 billion we spend in defense, and somehow we can't stop some guys walking into the Capitol. Um, these are your Trump fans. These are your super far right. Some of these people look like they came from the country, from mad rural areas. I don't know, but at the same time, I can't make jokes because there's people who, came from Virginia, they came from Maryland, they came from Chicago, from Wicker Park, I'm hearing. You know what I mean? So, there is a lot of people out here. I think there's people in LA and Georgia too, Utah. But, everybody was showing out for Trump. They got too close to the Capitol. And, we saw them climbing fences to get into the Capitol. We saw them, well, actually, we saw the police move the barricade for people. So, it's some inside job out here. We've seen the police move the barricade, let people walk in. Walk in. Now, I heard some people had guns. I didn't see the majority with guns, but, a majority of people who did not have guns were still able to get into the Capitol. Um,
And let me
uh,
and to that
yeah,
point, let
get
me
in,
say
cut
something real
in.
quick. Yeah, let me say something real quick.
Yeah,
So Washington D.C. is a no conceal, no carry area. Period.
exactly.
Right. That's the law.
Exactly.
That's the law. They incited a 6 p.m. curfew. Period. Right. Um.
Hmm.
So you're not even supposed to have weapons on you. So the
Not
stats
at
were
all.
the stats were this. There were 50 cops that were injured, 4 people were killed on scene, and they arrested 80 people that day and night.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I read and on numerous reports across numerous media outlets, they say that the prosecutor of Washington, Washington D.C., he's saying that they are investigating, they are issuing warrants, they're researching, they're locking people up, anybody who has something to do with it, because they were obviously asked about Trump, him kind of flaring this up, right? Flaring this
Yep.
revolution or
Yep.
this coup, this sedition,
Yep.
this treasonous act of
Hmm.
attacking our country's capital. Uh,
Insurrection.
you see what I'm saying? All the big words, because all of them pertain to this situation, no matter how you look at it.
Yep.
I don't give I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, and it really don't even matter because if you watched Congress last night after this, man, the Republican Party, they were like, look, I had half of them, and one of them in particular, I forget his name, a senator. He was like, look, man, I had a speech prepared for tonight. He said, but due to what's happening in the last couple of hours, that shit don't even matter right now. He was like,
Hmm.
we need to get dude out of here, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like that's the most that's the most united I've ever seen Congress. They were all on the same page. They were like, you know what? This is treason. This is sedition. Like this is un-American. This is a threat to our democracy. We got to stop this. And they're 100% right.
Hmm.
They're absolutely correct. I feel like there's still a lot of people who want to, question and play devil's advocate. There's no devil's advocate, man. This is black and white right now. They literally breached, trespassed the United States Capitol building in Washington, D.C., while Congress is in session, while Mike Pence, Donald Trump's vice president, was
Yeah.
in a session of Congress counting electoral votes. Who else do you guys need in there to watch count the electoral votes? Mike Pence is in there, literally. They're referring to him as Mr. President, which he's referred to. That's his professional whatever. When he's in Congress, they call him Mr. President, right? So it's like, why, yo? Like this is literally these are fanatics, bro. I'm gonna call them what they are. This
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
fanatics, and it's
If you saw, they had a dude who was wearing horns. He said that was representing that people were satanic in DC. Never mind that, people like Trump have been linked to, Epstein and, all the things that they do with children.
facts.
Um but it's like, the same guy who was wearing horns, he had no shirt, he was wearing some type of like animal skin or something. So, we had the crazies out there. People look, like I said earlier, they look like they came out of the woods. Um, but anyway, homie was said to be the leader of QAnon, which is that, 4chan conspiracy type of thing. So, yeah, bro, it's like when you see this go on, um, Man, I just seen so many pictures, and it's just so the hypocrisy. It's so loud. It's loud,
Yeah,
because you can look at pictures, like I said, of people who are protesting the right way. Sometimes it might be annoying for someone to block traffic, but that's how you're gaining attention. These are all like tactics of protest that are legally allowed and things like that. So when we seen those happen at Black Lives Matter protests, then immediately police are rushing people. Police
immediately.
are tear gassing people. Police are tear gassing people at Black Lives Matter protests, and they're walking down the street. I'm talking about no looting, no rioting, no burning. We saw that. We saw rubber bullets being deployed on people the second curfew hit. Like the second 6 o'clock hit in LA and you were still on the street, it was, you're getting riddled.
Yeah,
I remember in Chicago, people were getting lit up with rubber bullets, and people are getting hit in the eye. Eye bust. You're supposed to shoot, chest or whatever, but people are getting messed up out here. And when you see the pictures, it's literally like what people kneeling. People got harassed when they were playing violin for Elijah McClain because he used to play violin. So like, you just see the violence from the police in situations where people are non-violently protesting.
ain't
In this situation, you know, the same people who are supposed to be Blue Lives Matter, they are fighting with police. You know what I mean? They're
talk
pushing
about it.
police.
Talk about it.
They're, you know, I think someone tried to pepper spray police. Police, just up the pepper spray back, but it just took so long for that to even get there. Like I didn't see any tear gas. I didn't see any rubber bullets. I didn't see a lot of
Huh.
what could have been used.
You know what
You
I
know what I
saw?
mean? So
I'm gonna tell you what I saw.
yeah,
I saw a blatant example of people who say it don't exist. Privilege. I'm gonna say it.
yeah, exactly.
That's what it
Right
was.
there.
That's exactly what it
You know
was.
it was crazy yesterday. You know it was crazy because I was telling people like, look, fam, like, what happened to people fearing for their life? If I was out there, I'd be fearing
I
for
mean,
my life.
yeah.
Like a couple things would have rang off. A couple things would have rang off. But it's funny because they kept showing this clip of this black cop, and there are some protesters or rioters or terrorists, whoever you want to call them. They're walking through the Capitol, walking, and the cop just keeps backing up. I'm like, fam, these people are walking up to you. I don't see weapons in sight. I don't see anything, but he keeps backing up. They're walking up the stairs and he's like running and he turns around and he holds his baton. The person moves back a little bit and then continues to walk towards him. Not charge, not run, not threaten, just walk. And the cop keeps backing up. I'm like, dog, what's going on here? You look crazy. Like, stand your ground, fam. You had a couple cops then step up and then you kind of seen him feeling, but it was like, what happened, bro? We've seen all year, and the past 4 years, even longer than that. We've seen cops snap for less. We've seen, like I said, unprovoked, these police at other protests have just. It doesn't even have to be a protest. Look at Floyd, George Floyd. Oh man, oh, he's got the knee on the neck. We don't have to go through that again, but you can see clearly that you know, after that happens and we see the video, people still try to say, "Oh, he was on drugs, though."
Right.
Okay, we've seen Alton Sterling selling cigarettes, and he just gets put in a chokehold.
You know what? And that's the problem
So
right now, man. Disinformation, man.
yeah,
People are gonna try to discredit what's right in front of their faces. It's right in front of
but
your
you mean
faces,
to tell
bro.
me that these people are just walking towards a police officer, and somehow he is so spooked that he just keeps backing up. He keeps backing up. He keeps backing up. He is almost running away from people who are just walking at him with no weapons. What happened, bro? I know he is a black cop, so maybe it's different. Maybe he thinks, and that's what I'm saying. If it's an inside job and one of these cops wanted to do their job, they probably would have heard it the next day. So it's much deeper than we think, with these cops just being lax and letting people into the building, you know? But this man was like running upstairs. I'm like, all right, they're deep in the building now. Push him back, do something.
Something.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Something. And that's how I
The
feel,
amount
man.
of restraint, yeah.
I feel like it was an inside job, bro. They literally moved the barricades out the way for these dudes.
Yeah, bro. So think about it, man. All he got to do is put out whatever he got to do online, and whether you're a fan on Reddit or fan, whether you're a follower on Reddit or Facebook or wherever you're at, um, you're gonna get that message. So just because you're a police officer, it doesn't exempt you from using the internet.
Exactly.
There's probably a bunch of police officers who are a member of this group who are tuning in who said, oh, January 6th. And I say all this to say without Trump's involvement. But let's not act like he wasn't involved. Like he didn't shout the rally out. Like he didn't say things were going to get wild. So let's not act like he didn't know.
I mean,
But that's what I'm saying.
he
It's
was
just
clearly
it's
involved.
just that easy. It's just that easy for some people in the police force to be like, "Oh, we know what's going on. We know it's down." And even without the QAnon stuff, I mean, this is intelligence we're talking about. You act like these people weren't briefed on the threats that could have gone down. They know this, they know this protest is happening. We have the capability as American with American intelligence to like really look stuff up online and assess threats before things happen. So, I don't put it past any police chief out there, especially yesterday, to either A, be privy to those things online, or B, get tipped off by some intelligence. And it's up to him to like really, make that decision on how do you move forward. And we saw what the decision was. They worked in accordance.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you're 100%
And then
correct.
you had Donald Trump not giving the green light
Yeah.
for the National Guard.
For the National Guard to
Sent in
come
the
in.
National Guard. He sent the National Guard in quick everywhere else. But when people were pleading for the National Guard to come in, he didn't call the National Guard.
And
Virginia and
we're not talking
Maryland,
about just regular people. We're talking about
yeah,
senators, we're talking about representatives, we're talking about people in Congress pleading for him,
yes.
pleading for him to call
Virginia and Maryland had to
them.
send their National
Yeah.
Guards to D.C.
And that was at the request of Vice President Mike Pence. After a while, he was just like, "Man, I'm just gonna make the call," you know. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's ridiculous, man, and it's obvious in what's happening. And the United States of America has the top intelligence agencies in the world. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So you telling me that you didn't know this was coming? You telling me that you didn't know that this was going to happen? And now we got police officers, Capitol police officers, on camera removing barricades, letting these people uh, destroy and dishonor our Capitol building. It's like, I honestly felt like we were the laughing stock of the United States last night.
Of
And
course.
but honestly, I'm happy it happened, man, because people can see what's truly going on. They always want to deny it. They always want to
And
deny
some people still won't, because I saw some things yesterday when people were saying, "Oh, those weren't Trump supporters last night. That was Antifa dressed up as Trump
it.
supporters."
Come on,
Trump
man.
supporters don't dress like that. Okay. Don't dress like what? Because those people were dressed pretty normal to me. There weren't any crazy outfits. They were the same red hats y'all been wearing. Same flannel everybody wears, same jeans. Like, what are we talking about?
Right. That's correct.
Like, and I was talking about the hypocrisy. So I started off saying, you know, the hypocrisy was shown just in policing. But come on, fam. You started off, it's poetic, bro. It's poetic. They started off this whole presidency with Trump talking about, hey, man, Mexico's going to pay for this wall. They're rapists, they're this, they're that, they're climbing over the wall. You put an image to a scary immigrant. And guess who was climbing walls yesterday?
And they had that picture all over the
All the
internet, man.
MAGA fans.
Yeah, yeah, they had that
Come
picture
on,
all.
cuz.
They had like the little barricade against the wall. They were just climbing up.
Yeah.
And it was like, and
Yeah.
I saw a couple memes. They were like, this is an example of how walls don't work.
Come on, fam.
Oh man,
Like, what we doing here? What we doing here?
bro, I don't know
Climbing
what
over
was
the
going
wall
on.
like the people you hate.
Yeah, man, straight trash, straight
And
trash.
it's crazy because people want to talk about, another thing that, I want to add to your point about how you said you're glad people seen this. I was glad people saw this too, because, like, look at it, man. It's like you can finally tell people what is political about this movement. You can't just sit here and tell me, oh, I'm a conservative because of fiscal responsibility and yada yada yada.
Right.
At some point, then you got to really be a Republican and stand stand your ground and say that this ain't right.
This ain't
And
right.
you gotta relax with the party loyalty, and because I'm not gonna, like, Democrats, they always are calling somebody out. It's one thing for Democrats. Anytime a Democrat even steps up, you have the rest of the Democrats talking about he should step down. They should, it's like Democrats are quick to try to condemn their own. Maybe that's because it's their own fault of trying to look like the more, morally superior party. But at the same time, look at what happened yesterday. Not only were people pissing in the Capitol, like people pissed in the Capitol hallways, but you know, somebody ripped down the John Lewis poster. So, somebody put up a noose yesterday on Capitol, on the Capitol steps and stuff like that. They put up like a fake like noose or whatever.
And it was like
Like,
10
come on,
Confederate. It was like 10 Confederate flags in there too.
Confederate flags flying. Like,
It's
so what
crazy.
is this about? No, we know what this is about. We've known what this is about.
Right.
People over the years who want to say, "Oh, I'm just a Republican. I did this. I do that." It's for the party. It's for the ideologies. It's for the policy. No, it's not. We know what it's for.
Hey,
There's
hey.
no reason you should be ripping down John Lewis's poster. Why? Because he wanted equal voting?
Nah, but this is
Because he
trash
fought
though,
for civil
bro.
rights?
This ain't got nothing to do with no political parties though, my guy. Because
Exactly.
this MAGA movement, like it's a cancer, bro. It's a cancer.
Yeah.
And like I said, Congress. That's the first time I've seen them united ever, ever last night. I mean, everybody denounced it. Everybody was like, "Yo, like let's go ahead and go ahead and certify Biden and move forward." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what needs to happen, man. America is America because of the racial diversity that we have in this country. That's what America is. That's
You
our
know what
identity.
happened yesterday? We have invaded nations for what happened yesterday.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
There's been other nations where they've had an election and people have tried to steal an election, and we have invaded them and said, let's get this election back on track. Everyone
absolutely,
deserves a fair democracy. Come
absolutely.
on, guys.
They're undermining democracy, bro, and that's why I think,
Somebody could have came in yesterday.
yeah,
They just make us look weak, really.
man, it's embarrassing,
We fighting ourselves. We can't even have a secure capital to let some flunkies in.
disrespectful and trash,
A
bro.
minority, like a small minority of them had some guns, but I didn't see any guns used when they ran into Capitol, Hall or whatever. I just saw them bum rush the door and got in.
Hey, man, I saw him almost get let in, and then four people got killed because guns were fired or whatever. I mean, I'm gonna let the police deal with that, but it's one of those it was despicable, bro. I was watching
It
that shit.
reminded me of getting into clubs with a fake ID, like
Just slipping in
just
real quick.
no security.
Hey,
Come on, cuz.
I'm watching that shit, and I'm thinking I'm watching like, there were movies. What was it? It wasn't Black Hawk Down. It was another one, like when when terrorists attacked the Capitol and attacked the Capitol building and stuff. There was a couple movies out like
Yep.
I felt like
Yep.
I was watching a movie, man. I was like, this can't be real,
Come
bro.
on, man.
Like
And
this
look,
can't be
look,
real.
look. People were getting a little bit a little crazy yesterday. I know my mom was like, yelling and whatnot. But I was looking at it, and I said to myself, okay, so they got their turn, because over the summer, right? It was I don't know if you saw a Black Lives Matter protest got a little wild in Georgia, and they actually marched to the CNN building, and I remember the cops were like in the CNN lobby, and the cameras were behind the cops, and it was a whole mob, and it was one white guy with a skateboard trying to like bust that window down at the CNN building, and somebody threw in a firework, and it blew up in front of the cop's face and stuff like that. And I remember at that moment I was like, oh, it looks like it's getting real out there. But guess what? That time passed and not much happened. Not much changed. Not much policy got addressed. It was okay, clean your hands. So when I seen the stuff happening yesterday, like, yeah, it was a little wild. I'm like, damn, they going crazy. But I was like, I've seen this happen before. Like, even though the cops are giving them an easier time, like, ain't nothing gonna change. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we giving each side their chance to wild out, because like I started thinking of you, honestly, because we spoke about this on our pod before, and I was like, oh well, this is Paul time, because he said y'all want to pipe up. It's gonna get dangerous out
Gonna
here.
get
Like,
dangerous.
y'all think it's funny now, man. Like, and it's funny because it's like, okay, I see them letting you in, and the only excuse I can give is maybe that some of these cops are just looking at them like it's one of their own or something. Like, you know what, these guys are angry, they're riled up, come on in, man, have your fun, calm down, and we'll get you out of here. That's when I started looking at it. I was like, there's no way they're going to let anything real happen, because then it's their ass, it's their job, right? But to let them in and then be like, okay, do this. Now I got to take you out of here.
Yeah, some of them were taking
I
selfies
seen
with
it.
some of the people. I'm just like, look at
Come
these.
on, fam.
I'm like, look at these
I
dudes.
saw it. I
And,
saw it.
and
But
I'm
I
gonna
was
say
like,
this.
it's
I'm
not
gonna say
always going to
this.
be like that. Because, my bad, I was going to say it's not always going to be like that, because you're not going to have these friends. Once the National Guard come in, you're going to start playing, and someone's, all right, kink, 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 kink,
Hey,
kink.
hey,
Like,
hey,
come
hey,
on, cuz, what we talking about?
hey, you see what happened? The first shift ain't do shit, so they called in the second shift. I don't know if you were watching it
Mm-hmm.
late last night, but the second shift wasn't playing with them. They was whooping
Hey.
their ass. Hey,
Had to.
it was like
Had
I
to.
think it was the National Guard and the Virginia militia or like riot militia or something like that. They showed up. They showed up like 400 deep, all black, riot gear on,
Come
everything.
on.
They didn't
Come
have no
on.
they didn't have
Come
no
on.
shields or nothing. They was just beating them. They was like, all
Ready.
right. And but see, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, do and what's their
You don't want
famous?
to test people, bro.
Hey, bro. What's their famous saying? Do dumb shit, get dumb prizes. I say, hey, and that's what me and you were
Mm-hmm.
talking about. See, they gonna keep playing, man. They think that they want that, but they really don't. And a lot of the news stations were calling them out. They're like, man, these people out here in fatigue trying to play soldier. I'm like, yeah, you can play soldier until you run into some real soldiers in the United States of America,
You
man.
gonna play soldier, and then your stamina gonna run out. You're
Hey,
gonna be
man,
tired of running with whatever backpack you got in supplies. You're gonna feel a little too hot. You know what I'm saying? Your calisthenics is not up to par. You're
bro.
gonna be out here getting winded real quick. You're gonna have to take a break. Once you take a break, you're done.
I just don't
Your
get it.
adrenaline better be on 10.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Maybe I need to watch a couple of more like shows or interviews of these people. Like, what are you guys even protesting? You protesting because you don't agree with the election results? I mean,
Exactly.
it's over with, bro. It's over with. The Republicans and
Exactly.
Mike Pence were in there counting the votes, right? Yeah, right. They were in there counting the votes, bro, and all of them said that Biden won.
And
So
this is the crazy thing, bro.
what's
This
the
is the
issue?
crazy thing. When Trump won, right? I feel like uproar could have been had legitimately, because he got in when he didn't win the
Popular vote.
popular vote.
You didn't win the
He
popular
won
vote.
the electoral vote. He did not
Absolutely.
win the popular vote, and Hillary just said, "Okay, this sucks. You got it,"
She conceded.
and people
Exactly.
moved on.
Exactly.
We didn't, I didn't even like think about how this has exposed a lot of things just in our process, right? Because if I knew all that back then, I'd say, damn, son, well, How about we get some of these states out here to not certify Trump's vote? You know, if I knew what I knew now, I'd say, yo, electoral, okay. How
Right.
about you not certify that? Okay, but now that you guys both probably, certified it, I could have lobbied Congress to say don't certify it. Like we could
Right.
have been making so much roar, but nobody did that. Everybody just let it go,
And
let it
respected
happen.
democracy. And respected democracy.
Exactly. And then, he went along to do his thing. And I remember back then, I had, someone tell me like, like he's just the president, bro. Like, cause I remember when it first happened, I don't know about you, but like everybody's mood was kind of down. I remember me just personally being like, yo, are you serious? Like, I got to get on the train. Like, I don't know who's mag out here because obviously people voted for him. So I don't know what type of time people are going to be on in public. That
Right.
next day when Trump became president, I remember even at work, people was mad quiet. We had one guy in the office yelling MAGA, and people were like, it was just tense. It's like, yo, what's going on here?
Right.
And to see all that, and I remember a homie telling me like, yo, man, he's just the president. Like, nothing's really gonna change. What can he really do? How's he really gonna affect your life? 4 years later, I want to tell buddy like, dog, look, a president can affect people's life quick,
Yeah.
even with just by tweeting, just by putting out actually destructive policy
Right.
that you never thought about before because most presidents just kind of moved in unison.
And you know what?
They just kind of did the job.
A lot of people don't get that, man. Like even in English classes till this day, college level
Yeah.
English classes, they have you read stuff on Martin Luther King. They have you
Yeah.
read stuff on Hitler. And the reason why
Yeah.
is because Martin Luther King and Hitler were great orators. They were great
Mm-hmm.
with speaking and speeches, and their words and what they said moved people to do stuff. They were influencers. If you don't give anything to Donald Trump, he's an influencer, bro. The people who believe in Donald Trump follow everything that he says, and
Yeah.
that's why he's so
You
dangerous.
know how crazy it is? You know how crazy it is seeing people like kind of like back Pence these whole 4 years and on a turn of a dime, all these Trump fans are like, man, F Pence. Who's Pence? They ready to kill Pence. They ready to get Pence out of here.
Yeah, because
The same
hey,
people
because
who is
Pence made a decision. He chose his country over a person.
his fan,
Yeah,
you know? It's a lot of wild stuff out here. Um, but nah, man, it's just it's real wild to me how that quote stuck with me. What's gonna happen? At that moment, I remember telling myself like, yo, if he doesn't get a second term, he's gonna try to bully that term, or he's gonna try to have people run up and you know he's gonna try to take over. He's gonna try to say this is mine. And, he's gonna try to have people like a militia, a short army, a small army. And guess what? That played out yesterday. That's a thought I had 4 years ago when the thing happened. I was like, I can tell right now this is not the type of dude who's going to want to leave office. And I kept saying to myself, he's going to get one term. But you know what? Honestly, he might bully that second term. He might be like, yo, give me that second term or I'm going to turn up. He tried turning up yesterday. He
yeah,
definitely tried turning up.
yeah, man. And
This
he
shit ain't for play.
nah,
I
man.
hope we realize that.
Yeah, it's over with now, bro. He just threatened American democracy. It ain't nothing else to say about Buddy. It ain't nothing else to say about any of
So
those
let's
people.
talk about it, man. Facebook kicked him off.
Yeah, Facebook,
Instagram kicked him
Twitter,
off.
Twitter locked him up.
Did Twitter?
Yeah,
Twitter locked his account.
yeah. They all locked him, man. They said that after what happened, after him inciting those that action that those people took, right? Clearly inciting it. Man, they said that they can't let him. Zuckerberg gave a statement. He said, "Man, I can't allow him to do that. I can't allow him to send out those tweets and put those messages out and into social media and rile up the country, right? It's like,
Is it a little too late?
yeah, but at some point, I'm just happy that it got to this point and it didn't go further. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It went too far, but it went far enough for people to be like,
I still feel
you know what, fuck this.
I still feel like yesterday was kind of a warning shot. I feel like they knew they couldn't really do much.
Yeah, that was a warning
You know,
shot.
I feel like it was one of those things where the cops sent a message of because I heard reports of cops of people hearing cops say, "I bet you don't want to defund us now," or hearing people say stuff like, "Oh yeah, well I let him in because he said Blue Lives Matter." Now that first quote I think was a real quote, but
Yeah, I heard a cop
regardless,
say that. I heard a cop say that.
but regardless, like what was successful about yesterday where you don't need to be defunded? We had to call in the National Guard.
Right. You didn't do anything. Your people didn't do
Y'all
anything.
was running away. Y'all didn't stop them from coming in. Y'all didn't stop anything. So
What are you talking about? Right.
what's going on? So somebody shot what, four people? Who even knows if it was cops? It could have been Secret Service. Who knows if the police was doing their job?
You know, I'm a veteran,
But
so I'm like, man, just expand military jobs and just
yeah, man,
let us patrol it. Forget
come on, come on, man.
it.
But my thing is like, my thing is like, the cops sent a message basically like, hey, man, like this is what could happen. We could let something happen like this, and then what? I mean, like I felt like I heard that message loud and clear from the cops. I feel like from MAGA people and the Republicans, I heard, okay, Biden's going to be president, but like this is what could happen. So, listen to us these next 4 years. Like we're not going to be quiet. I feel like we might see a few more of these attempts, maybe not at running in the Capitol building, but I feel like people are going to try to show their ass.
Yeah, domestic terrorists.
When they don't hear something. Yeah, exactly. We're going
Domestic
to see
terrorists.
some people show their ass.
Let's call them what they are, bro. Let's call them what they are. And
Yeah.
on the other side of that, I honestly have to say this. I don't think that that's going to happen. And I'm gonna tell you why. They might try to pull it, and they might try to do some stuff, just like that 65-year-old bombing in Nashville, right? They might do stuff like that, or try to cause terror, which they've done that the whole history of America. But we ain't gonna get into that, right? I mean, that's been happening for forever. Um,
That's real.
so I mean, that's not a surprise to me.
Come
Yeah, nooses
on now.
nooses and burning sticks. Ooh, yeah, y'all come up with
That ain't new. That
some
ain't new.
right, that ain't no new shit in America. But and on the other end, um, man, I mean, I think that Biden he has to show strength. I think that Kamala has to
Yeah.
show strength. I think that
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this with the chief of police in Washington. He's stepping down because of what happened.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you,
Mm-hmm.
most of those cops are going to lose their jobs, bro. They have to. I mean, look at that. That was ridiculous. You know what I mean? I think the
Mm-hmm.
Secret Service are probably going to expand their presence at the state capitol. I mean, at the capital of the U.S. and those other higher ranking government buildings. But um, like you said, it's a warning shot, man, and it was a warning shot in both directions. It was a warning shot that they're going to be unruly, and it was also a warning shot and a wake up call for America. Look at these people. You know what I mean? Look at them.
Yeah,
They are willing to sacrifice our democracy and our way of life, you know,
bro.
because of their radical ideal. That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Gee, and what's the end goal? What's the end goal?
There's no exactly.
Because what? What's the end goal? They just want white people to be recognized as number one. Because the leader of the Proud Boys, I think, like you said, is Latino or Hispanic,
Yeah, he's Hispanic. I don't get it.
and he had got arrested. I saw some black people out there, so there's definitely people who are wrapped up in like just thinking it's Trump, Trump, Trump. But in the past 4 years, what did Trump do to change your life other than make you feel that you were now empowered to treat other people with disrespect? Because that's all I got. I didn't see any policy that made life better. I didn't see anything. You know what I mean? Like could you say, could people sit there and say like, fiscal policy wise, like businesses were better, or, like you rolled back some regulations, you rolled back a lot of Obama era stuff. So what? So some companies could pollute more or waste more. It's like, what did you really do that really helped our day to day, other than people calling you the N word outside
Hey
without
man,
feeling any repercussion,
you hit the nail
without
on the head,
people.
bro. You hit the nail on the head. And even if, and I'll use
Yeah,
my situation as an example. I've seen people who, are hardworking, blue collar people, kind of keep their heads down, do their thing. But I've also seen people who walk around with a false sense of superiority because of this guy. It's like, bro,
yeah,
you ain't doing nothing. Like, who are you superior to? You
exactly.
ain't superior to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like, what are you doing, fam? Like,
I don't know, but
life ain't better for no one, but
and that's what I'm
but
saying.
you feel like you said, a false sense of comfort.
For what? How? Why?
Even in Democratic times, Barack Obama times, when they felt the world was, because that's really what it is. It's a reaction. All of this is still a reaction to Obama's presidency.
Oh yeah. This is
Black
Obama's
man,
fault. This is Obama's
a
fault.
black man,
I'm sure. I'm
yeah.
sure. I'm sure some
You
people
know
will
what?
blame him for it.
We want to have the whitest of the white, who is anti everything else, as the president. We want the most anti Obama now as an answer to
Yeah.
Obama. Like, all this is just a reaction to letting a black man run the country,
Right. Right.
really. But even during Obama's time, like, white people were still treated better by the cops. So, like, you still had that comfort. You've always had that comfort. When I say you, white people have always had that comfort. So what added comfort did they get during Trump's time? The comfort to just, be rude. Because other than that, they've always had the
Yeah.
privilege. It's like, come on, fam. Like,
Yeah.
other than that, what changed? What
Right.
changed?
And you can't. Right. And you know what? And I have friends and even myself, right, who have gained financially, these past couple of years. That's a part of the game. Now, being talked down to, being looked at as less than, being socially ostracized from the upper echelons of society because my skin's a little darker than yours. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
unacceptable. We are in America, man. This is a multiracial country. Period. If you don't
Yes,
like it,
sir.
it's a lot of countries out here you can go to,
Yep.
and I'm gonna tell them just like they tell us. You know what I'm saying? You ain't from here either. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Y'all could go to Russia. There's a
hey,
lot
hold
of white
on,
folk in Russia, I hear,
hold on, man. You ain't from here
There's
either.
a lot of space in Russia.
So it's just like, man, enough is enough, bro. Enough is enough, and
Yeah.
that's just not black people or Hispanic people or Asian people or anybody of color saying that. It's a lot of white people who are saying that they're tired of it too, man. The racism
Yeah.
and the separation, it doesn't make sense. It literally
Yeah.
doesn't make sense in our country. So
Yeah.
it's irritating as fuck.
It's something that's holding us back, of course. It's rudimentary. It's childish. It's immature. I mean, what else? It's literally one of the dumbest constructs that we still can't get past.
It's silly, man. And the rest of the world was watching yesterday, and the rest of the world's
Come on,
always
fam.
watching us.
We have electric cars. We have solar energy. We got. I mean,
We
you
got
know,
we got
we
AI.
have a vaccine. Yeah, we have AI. We have a vaccine for an unknown illness, or it was unknown about a year ago, but we have a vaccine for that right now because of just human ingenuity.
Exactly.
We've allegedly been on the moon. We've done all these things as a human race, but somehow we still are judging people based on their skin color.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the wildest thing, bro.
Yeah. We're so smart that we're stupid.
You
Come on.
know,
Come on,
it's the
man.
wildest thing, and it's like America is the glaring
Right.
representation of that. There's racism everywhere, but America just, they pride themselves on racism. Like,
It's ridiculous.
yo, it's in our fabric, bro. But
Hey, it's
yeah,
ridiculous. Hey, look, this is 2021. Here at the Kai, we're gonna be covering everything that happens the next couple of
breaking
days.
news. Yeah,
Breaking news.
we gonna bring you a little bit more of these special episodes where we just gonna focus on a topic and dissect that. We're gonna hit every angle because I think we did it well, man. I think
Yeah, man.
we did that
Yeah,
well.
man.
We
And I think
really
it's I think
broke
it's
down.
important to have
Yeah,
these conversations because so many people they don't want to have these conversations because
yeah,
it is exhausting, but it has to be talked about.
yeah.
It has to be, you know, points of view
I
have to be
almost
heard.
didn't. I almost didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Right.
you called yesterday and I was with it. Now, I did go to sleep, but at the same time, like I was thinking about it, like before you had actually like, sent the invite, um, when I was waiting before, I eventually knocked out, I was sitting there like, dog, like I don't even know if I want to speak about this because like what else needs to be said,
Man.
You and me know what I'm talking about.
Right,
We've
right,
just
right, right.
endured this for so long outside of the past 4 years. I mean, even when we were kids, I didn't experience it, but I remember a few years later knowing about what's going on with or what went on with Rodney King.
Right.
So we've just seen this go on. We've witnessed this,
It's
like
taxing, bro.
everyone's,
It's taxing.
yeah.
It
And
is.
it's like, what else needs to be said about this? We understand the implications of, being a Trump fanboy. We understand the implications of letting things go too far. We understand the implications of empowering people with these type of thoughts. But the rest of America for those 4 years was, a lot of excuses. Well, it's not necessarily like that. It's everyone found out the truth yesterday.
Hey, and that's why I said it was a necessary evil, man. They had to see it for themselves. And the people who choose
Yeah.
to ignore it, they just choose to ignore it. It's not that they don't know, it's just that
Hmm.
they choose to ignore it. And they just need to man up or woman up
Exactly.
and admit that. But hey, man, it's the Kai.
It's the fucking God.
That's
Episode
it.
24,
Hey, we'll be back again. We'll be back again.
2021. We're starting it off with a bang. We're gonna be back, bigger, better than ever. You know the vibes.
Hey, we here, full speed ahead. We bring you the fresh catch.
Full speed, full speed. Fresh
That's right.
catch of the day.
You heard me? Hey, we're gonna see how the next couple of days unfolds, and we'll be back. We're gonna drop another one. So stick with us, subscribe.
Oh yeah, man. It's gonna be from now until the inauguration, it's gonna be election watch, We're gonna
Yeah,
just keep
hey,
on reporting
I'm
back.
about to say we might have to just double up the conversations because it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Hey man. Hey man. I might have to film something down the street.
I
I'm
hear
live
you.
on the scene.
Hey, live on the scene, straight
Yes,
up.
sir.
Hey,
All right.
hey, thanks for being with us. It's the Cot, Paul and
Yes,
Ryan.
sir.
Yep. Peace.
24. Peace.